Patriots Nation. This is one of those moments where the offseason stops feeling like background noise and starts feeling like a storm rolling straight toward Foxborough. Excited. You can feel it. The roster has moved, the rumors are heating up. The front office is talking like a team that knows it's not done yet, and suddenly this whole thing feels bigger than a few routine transactions. It feels like setup. It feels like pressure building. Curious. And when that starts happening in New England, you already know what fans are thinking. Are the Patriots just patching holes? Or are they gearing up for a monster move that could change everything? Because let's be real, the biggest headline hanging over this team right now might be the Maxx Crosby situation. And this isn't just random off-season gossip. This thing has layers. You had a trade to Baltimore that looked close enough to make people think the story was over, then boom, it falls apart, and now the Raiders are sending mixed signals about what they actually want to do. One minute it looks like they were ready to move on. The next minute they're acting like they're thrilled to keep him around. So what's the truth? And more importantly, where does New England fit into all of this? That's where Elliot Wolf's comments got everybody's attention. When the rumor started floating that Tom Brady didn't want Crosby ending up with the Patriots, it instantly lit a fire under the conversation. And why wouldn't it? We're talking about one of the greatest figures in franchise history being loosely tied to a possible roadblock on a massive move. That's the kind of rumor fans grab onto fast. But Wolf didn't feed it. He basically shut that angle down, said he'd be surprised if it were true, and pointed to his good relationship with Raiders GM John Spytek. That matters. A lot. Now, does that mean Crosby is suddenly on his way to Foxborough? No. Not even close. But it does mean one of the weirdest obstacles tied to this whole saga may not be real. And if that's true, then the conversation changes. Because once you strip away the drama, what's left? Price? Health? Timing? That's the game now. And if the asking price softens, if the market shifts, if Las Vegas has to blink, the Patriots could still be lurking right there, waiting to pounce. And from New England's side, the fit is obvious. Crosby is the kind of player who doesn't just help a defense, he changes its personality. He changes how offenses prepare. He changes how quarterbacks sleep the night before. If this team wants more juice off the edge, more havoc, more fear factor, that kind of player checks every box. So even if it's not the most likely move today, the fact that the door still feels cracked open, that matters. In an off-season like this, staying alive in the conversation is half the battle. But while everybody's staring at the trade market, there's another issue sitting right in front of this roster, and it's not small: tight end. That might not be the flashiest storyline on the surface, but for the way this offense is built, it matters more than people think. This isn't just about replacing a name on the depth chart. This is about protecting the identity of the offense and making sure the system still has the pieces it needs to function the way it wants to function. The Patriots made some interesting moves already. Romeo Doubs brings experience. Draymond Jones brings more juice to the front. Reggie Gilliam and KJ Britt fit the more physical tone Mike Vrabel clearly wants. And Elijah Vera Tucker? That's the kind of addition that can anchor a lot of good things. But for every addition, there have been departures too, and one of the more important ones was Austin Hooper. He didn't put up gaudy numbers, but he had real value in how this offense operated. That matters because the Patriots leaned heavily on packages with multiple tight ends and a fullback last season. That wasn't some occasional wrinkle. That was part of the identity. So when Hooper leaves and nobody steps in right away, the spotlight naturally swings to the draft. And that's where Oscar Delp becomes a really interesting name to watch. He's got size, he's got movement skills, he's got receiving ability, and he feels like the kind of developmental piece that could grow into something bigger if the Patriots want to play the long game. His blocking still needs work, sure, but that's exactly why the fit makes sense. Hunter Henry is still there, which means Delp wouldn't have to walk in and carry the whole room on day one. He could develop, learn the details, sharpen the physical side of his game, and maybe be in line for a much bigger role down the road. That's why this isn't just a random draft dart throw. It feels like a possible chess move, a way to preserve structure, keep the offense flexible, and build toward what this group wants to be. And then there's the name that keeps hovering over everything like a thundercloud with fireworks inside it: A.J. Brown. This is the kind of rumor that refuses to die because it actually makes too much sense to ignore. The reporting says serious conversations have happened. The Patriots are in the mix. The Rams are in the mix. But a deal doesn't look ready right now. And honestly, that's the part that makes this even more fascinating, because it tells you the story isn't dead. It's just waiting for the right moment to explode. The key date here is June 1st. Before that, Philadelphia takes a much bigger dead cap hit. After that, the financial hit drops hard, which means the Eagles have every reason to slow play this if they're seriously considering a deal. So if you're a Patriots fan hoping for fireworks, this might not be a right now thing. But it absolutely still feels like an in-play thing. And if it is, you can see exactly why New England would stay interested. A.J. Brown would not be just another addition. He would be the addition. He would be the kind of move that changes the entire ceiling of the passing game. Romeo Doubs is a nice piece, but Brown is a full-blown alpha. He changes coverages. He changes how defenses line up. He gives the offense a centerpiece. And maybe most importantly, he gives the quarterback a true #1 target, the kind of weapon young passers dream about. And that's why this keeps circling back to Drake Maye. If the Patriots are serious about maximizing his growth, then surrounding him with difference makers has to be the mission. You can talk about balance, patience, building the right way, all of that. But at some point, a young quarterback needs game changers around him. He needs somebody who can win big, tilt the field, and make life easier when things get tight. Brown is exactly that kind of player. Of course, none of this means it's done. The price is high. Other teams could get involved later. The Eagles could decide to hold him. So let's not pretend rumor equals reality. But let's also not ignore the smoke when there's this much of it in the air. The Patriots being tied to a player like Brown, this seriously tells you something. It tells you this front office is at least thinking big. And that's where the entire offseason starts to come into focus. Because Elliott Wolf said something that really sticks. The Patriots are happy with the guys they signed, but they're still open to improving the team any way they can. That could be standard front office talk. It could be lip service. But it could also be a giant neon sign telling you the Patriots know they still need one more major hit. One more swing. One more move that takes this from solid offseason to watch out. So if they do make that swing, where should it be? Brown? Crosby? Maybe even Stephon Diggs now that he's available without draft compensation? That's the debate, and it is a good one. Crosby would answer a huge need on defense. Diggs could boost the offense without costing picks, but Brown feels different. Younger, more explosive, more capable of becoming the centerpiece of the air attack right away. And when you're building around a young quarterback, that kind of move can echo through the entire franchise. That's why, if New England really has to choose where to push its chips, Brown might be the move that says the most about where this team believes it's headed. Not because edge rusher isn't a need. It absolutely is. Not because other options wouldn't help. They would. But because loading up the offense around Maye feels like the kind of decision that could shape the Patriots, not just for one season, but for the next phase of this whole era. So here's the big picture. The Patriots have already made moves, but they still don't feel finished. Not even close. And that's what makes this so exciting. This doesn't feel like a team that checked a few boxes and called it a day. It feels like a team still scanning the horizon, still hunting, still waiting for the right opening to make the kind of strike that changes the whole conversation around them. And that's why every rumor matters right now. Every quote matters. Every crack in the market matters. Because New England is at that point in the offseason where one more big move could completely reshape expectations. One move could change how this offense is viewed. One move could change how this defense is feared. One move could turn a good offseason into a statement offseason. So now I'm throwing it to you. If the Patriots get one real shot to land a true difference maker, which path are you taking? Are you going all in for A.J. Brown? Are you chasing the chaos and impact of Maxx Crosby? Or are you taking a different route completely? Drop your pick in the comments, fire off your hot takes, and send this to another Pats fan who's been living every rumor like it's game day. Because one thing is crystal clear. Something is building in New England. And if this front office lands the right punch, this offseason could end with Patriots Nation feeling like the clock just started ticking towards something very, very real.